You can get the truth for the international forecaster.
All right. And a quick question for both of you to answer. That this should concern a lot of people. We know that a lot of people in this country, and I like to think all of them are people that earn, a lot of them aren't, of course, but depending on retirement, Social Security and different benefits, but Social Security mainly, it's in a mess now. Now, this is on mainline news. This isn't just something you read on some kind of right-wing paper. This is the mainline news. What do both of y'all face about Social Security if they don't do something to get some money in that fund real soon?
I'll let Bob go with that, but I obviously...
Well, I tell you, Social Security does not have enough money from cash flow coming into the fund for this year, including the interest that they receive on the bonds, which are sitting in vaults, which are non-negotiable. The only one that can buy them is the U.S. government. And what happened was, since the inception in June of 1935, all the money that went into Social Security went into the general fund. And so Social Security, except for cash flow and the interest, otherwise it's broke unless the U.S. government comes up with the money to finance it, and I don't think they can do it. And we're talking $250 billion a year. And they'd be set with so many other problems, they can't sell their bonds now. I mean, they're going to be able to take on $250 billion more a year, and then Medicare and Medicaid are in the same situation. That's why they want to steal our retirement. I mean, there's no end to the problem.
Well, see, that's what don't make sense to me. I mean, Bob, you're talking about Medicare and Medicaid. I mean, they're broke too. How in the world are we going to finance this health care bill? You know, that's like taking Medicare and Medicaid and putting it on steroids.
Well, how about 42% of the doctors saying that they won't practice anymore?
Yeah, they're just going to get out.
That's really scary.
Or maybe they won't accept the government insurance. Oh my gosh, what would they do? I suppose.
Well, you know, most Medicare patients don't get accepted by doctors. It's hard to find doctors now to accept Medicare patients. I don't know because I don't live in the United States, and I am of that age, but I've never used Medicare because I'm healthy, and so isn't my wife. But the point is that the money isn't there, the doctors don't like it, and the insurance companies, the hospital companies, and the pharmaceutical companies are going to make untold fortunes with this new bill.
Is it possible, Ted, that the Social Security system will collapse to the point people will lose their funds, period?
Well, I mean, I would have to think that the United States government, before they'll default on a Social Security check, they'll go to the Federal Reserve Open Market Committee and sell the bonds there that it takes in order to finance the government operations. I mean, because, like Bob said, the Social Security money went into the general fund. It's not like the Social Security money that everybody's been paying in for all these years have been put away into something that's, you know, safe, secure, and can be tapped into to pay people. So it's really just cash flow. And, you know, the United States Treasury already is committed to, you know, to make their ends meet. And if that means selling the bonds to the Federal Reserve System, which is how you turn on the printing press, how you dilute the monetary system, you know, fiat money, I have to believe that that's going to be their option. I don't see foreigners buying U.S. Treasuries to any great amount anymore. Well, they're trying to get out.
Well, wouldn't that mean then, Bob, that if they do that again, the Fed start printing more money, it's just going to make the money worth that much less, and pretty soon the checks won't mean anything anyway.
That's true, because the inflation will be preposterous, and then on top of it, they've told us we're not going to have a COLA for 3 years.
Yes.
They've frozen it as Congress increased their salaries.
Yes.
And all the salaries for federal employees are being increased. I mean, what is this?
Yeah,
I mean, give us our country back.
Yeah, I know. The people should be. I really hope that this is enough to motivate the people to knock these people out of the office. And we have an election coming up, and now is the time to just boot them out.
Yeah,
boot them out and get some people in there that have, you know, street smarts. I mean, get rid of these Wall Street types and these, you know, career politicians. Let's get some people in there maybe have run a business at home, farmers, people that actually work for a living and, that represent the people.
Good point. He actually worked for a living. That's right. Our Senator Robert C. Byrd had been in office long as I've been alive. He's never had a real job. And of course, Rockefeller was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, literally, a billionaire when he was born. So he has never had a job either. These people have no idea. They're so out of touch with you and I. They can't even begin to comprehend about living on a budget and paying bills one time. They don't care. And by the way, if you want to call Ted, folks, about this terrific deal, I don't know how he's doing it. It's 800. I forgot. 800.
It's 800.
800-686-2237. 800-686-2237. You can call now. There's people standing by to talk to you if you want to. 800-686-2237. We're going to get to the phone calls here. We're jammed up here. So let's go to Jim in Georgia. Jim, come on in.
Hey, Pastor, how y'all doing tonight?
Doing well, sir.
Okay, I've been a paramedic in EMS for almost 12 years, including 6 years down at Grady in Atlanta in the city. Now, some of the problem I see is that people will use the healthcare system for the most trivial things. I have transported personally 2 men to the emergency room in an advanced life support ambulance, which is about a $400 to $800 trip, depending on what I do, because they had venereal diseases. Okay?
Oh, my.
I have transported a woman to the hospital with a broken fingernail. I don't mind coming to get you if you're really sick. I don't mind coming to get an elderly person who's a shut-in, who's sick and can't get around, okay, and is too decrepit to take the bus. But when I get men who are under 30 years old that I have to transport down there because they cut their finger with a paper cut, and then they don't have any insurance and they can't pay the bill. I had one night that was, he was in the waiting room down at Grady Hospital, which is, for lack of a better term, where they take a lot of the debris down in Atlanta. And I worked for that EMS service. The man stayed 18 hours at Grady because he thought he was bit with a black widow spider. 3 days later, well, he left the emergency room without being seen. He called 3 days later and said he wanted to go back. And I said, sir, number one, if you've been bitten by a black widow spider, you'd know it by now.
Oh, yes.
You have cramps so bad you wouldn't be able to stand up. And secondly, I knew where this was going, but I said, sir, I call my doctor and make an appointment. Of course, I have health care insurance through my employer. And I say, what time do you want me? He says, 1 o'clock. I'm in and out of there in 1 hour. And a lot of the drain on the system is from just
waste.
I hate it to tell you this, just sorry people.
That's a fact, and that's going to increase on this new bill. That will multiply itself at least tenfold.
Let me make another comment, then I'm going to hang up. But
okay.
They tell me that I would have to pay about $5,000 a year under this health care plan or go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
I can't pay it, and I ain't going to jail.
I can't either. I'm not going there either, brother. Good call. Thanks a lot. Good call. And, folks, you're right. It's going to bring out a lot more riffraff, and I'm serious about that. That's just the way it is. Let's go to Dan in PA. Dan, come on in.
Hi, Butch. How you doing?
Doing well.
I'll tell you what. That last caller said a lot of things, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
He said a lot. It's in our, there is a stream going through the vein of us people on shortwave. And you are on shortwave, right?
Yes, I sure am.
Yes. We are there, and there is a stream.
Yeah, and there's probably a lot of angry people. That's why they're putting in, and Friday night we'll cover this in more detail, they're bringing in military vehicles, 30-some thousand, putting some up in the northwest and some down in Georgia.
Well, up here in Pennsylvania, they got one down in Franklin County. They're making these 400 million RV things.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of the RVs, they're going to be Humvees, they're going to be RVs.
Well, folks, they are gearing up something. And good call, Dan. I got to move, but good call. Thanks a lot. And Ted and Bob, we're going to have to go to break in a second. Got some more phone call to bring on here. But your comments, Bob, on do you look for some riots in the near future, possibly?
No, I don't. But I would like to organize, if I could, but there's better people in line to do that than me. I think if this medical bill gets passed, I think we ought to have 20 million people march on Washington, sit in the streets, and bring the Capitol to a halt for 2 weeks.
I agree. AC7 minigun. I agree with you 100%. I wish we'd do that. Ted, your thoughts on riots? What do you think?
Well, we're going to see more riots, and I don't know how we're going to avoid it. There's going to be more people standing at the bread line. The more the government tries to bail us out, the deeper we go and the more trouble we have. And like you said, Butch, it's just going to put more people on the dole.